but in the apartment there were no signs of the struggle that had occurred, and no signs of the horrific dismemberment that had occurred in the bathroom. Lauren's keys, purse, and cell phone were still in the home, so they knew she couldn't have gone far. Wherever she was, she probably wasn't there willingly. The search continued through the night, with the cops expanding the search radius past her apartment and into the surrounding areas. The cops talked to all of Lauren's neighbors, asking them if they would consent for their homes to be searched, mostly as a formality, and all agreed, except Stephen, in his infatuation with Lauren, as when she was reported missing, Lauren's uncle told the police that she had a creepy neighbor who they believed was obsessed with her. Stephen told the police that he was unsure if he felt comfortable with letting him into his apartment without a warrant, and refused to grant them entrance. Stephen did consent to his first recorded interview with police officer David Patterson, going over the last time he had seen Lauren, what his relationship was with her, and more. After the interview, while making his way back to Lauren's apartment to continue the search, Patterson smelled something emanating from the trash can on the street, in front of the apartment buildings. The trash was meant to be picked up early that day, but hadn't been able to, due to the police presence. It was in that trash can that officers found the only remains of Lauren they were able to identify at the time, her torso. The discovery of her body immediately changed the course of the investigation. Before, they were under the impression that Lauren was just missing. They had hoped that she had possibly taken some time away without telling anyone, and would come home. But upon the gruesome discovery, they realized something much darker was at play. They opted to try to keep the discovery quiet, and asked to speak to Stephen more thoroughly at the police department. McDaniel consented, and went with them, answering their questions with relative ease, under the assumption still that no body had or ever would be found. Once they were done, the officers gave him a ride back to his apartment, where they asked once more if he'd be willing to consent to a search. Stephen bristled once more, saying he was uncomfortable. Upon hearing that every single one of his other neighbors had consented to the search, save for him, he realized how guilty it made him look. He then stated that the cops could go in, but only if he was present. The walkthrough was odd according to the police, given how talkative McDaniel was. As they combed through his bottles of water stacked below his sink in case of the apocalypse, his extensive knife and sword collection, and his computers, Stephen spoke openly about all of them, addressing why he thought each was necessary. He also asserted that he was a virgin, and was waiting until marriage to have sex, which the officers found odd but not important.